How to negotiate your dental practice or your medical practice lease. You decided to start a new dental practice or medical practice or even med spa, and you're thinking about getting a lease. You're wanting to take your business to a brick and mortar. Thinking about your lease is incredibly important because a lot of people don't think about all the pieces that you really need to think about when you are getting a new lease. The first thing that I would consider is the lease duration. When you're trying to think about your money, you got to think about how long you plan to be in that location. Have you scoped out the premises? Do you know where your patients are coming from? Are your patients even in that area? Those are key considerations you need to think about when you're thinking about the duration of your lease. You need to think about the option to renew. Say that you really like the location. If the location is a great location and you think that there's going to be a lot of foot traffic in the area, make sure you have an option to renew, because if you don't, there might be someone wanting to swoop in and take your lease. Compare your rent to the rent of other areas in the facility. A lot of times, people are so excited about the building, they don't spend a lot of time thinking about the fair market value in the area. That's a key and critical piece that you need to consider before you sign the lease. You need to think about asking for upgrades on your lease property. Now, that might not be something that you can do, but I always say it never hurts to ask. So make sure you ask your leaseholder or your rental owner if there are any upgrades available on the lease. You might want to purchase this building later, so you need to think about asking about a right of first refusal. Right now, you might think, oh, I'm so small, I'm so little, but you might grow big and you don't want to have to think about moving your lease elsewhere. You need to think about the owner of the current property and you need to think, are they someone who might potentially sell this lease? Get a feel of that owner, ask for the right of first refusal, and think about growing into your space. It's important to think about marketing and signage. Some leases do not let you put appropriate signage for your business. Now, you're going to get business from referrals and you're going to get business through networking and marketing, but you also want good foot traffic, and that requires signage. So your sign needs to be visible from the road, needs to be visible from the monument. If you don't have that opportunity, it might not be the best place for you. Also, you want to make sure that you speak to the owner of the building about how you're able to market within the building, what is allowed and what's not allowed. Some leases don't let you stay past a certain time in your building. I know that sounds weird, but if you're getting a lease or a sublet, that might be a provision that's in there. So there's something that you need to think about when it comes to marketing. It's important to think about exclusivity. Now, that might not be something that you've thought about before, but it's incredibly important to think about if you have a lease, especially if you're trying to have a long term lease. Look, you have this amazing place that you want to rent, but your landlord is not obligated to only allow you to rent. They need to rent out their space and make a ton of money. And if you are a dental practice or a med spa or another medical practice and a competitor wants to move within your leasing space, your landlord is obligated to do what they want to do. They don't owe you anything unless it's in the agreement. And a lot of physicians, dentists, med spa owners don't think about that when they look at the lease agreement. That's a critical thing for you to think about when you're looking at the space. If you've got a competitor in your same strip, now you're competing against someone who is right there, and your patient might just decide to go next door when you are booked, or next door when your receptionist is rude to them one day. You don't want that to happen to you. You want to have exclusivity. So think about that in negotiating your lease agreement. There's so many other provisions that you need to think about when you're looking at these types of leases. Reach out to us if you need someone to look at these and help you to success at dorismeet.com. Thanks so much. Bye.